But we do have a happy ending.
Braxilla, it has taken me long years of soul searching and many nights of tears to bring myself to this moment. I am Archimedes, your son.
When I heard the name of the man who stole my lyre, I suspected it might be you.
I've dreamt of hurting you as you hurt me and my father 1,000 times. But I only knew you as the mother who abandoned me, and not as the artist that I just saw.
Just as Adonis lamented the beauty he left behind, I too left that which was most precious to me on the death of my old self.
You're not dead. Neither of you are. Take this opportunity and see what you can build together.
Thank you for all your help.
Oh, a poet's legacy. I just got a Steam achievement. Okay, so that's definitely the end of that quest line now.
The new poem I'm working on is my favorite yet.
I'm so close to a level up. It's like the last little smidge before leveling up. Like, let's see here. Look at that bar. So I'll level up immediately at the beginning of next stream. Will be the case. All right, now I'm done for the night. And I still have, what, like 7 or something blue quests? So I'll probably at least do one more stream before Fragapalooza of this, most likely. And then Legacy, the first Blade at Frag, and then maybe some more blue quests, and then I'll do Fate of Atlantis at some point. I don't know. One last kind of life update that I wanted to give while streaming here, since I always talk about that kind of stuff while streaming Assassin's Creed because of how long it's been going on the channel, so closest thing I have to a journal is, like, basically the Assassin's Creed series around here, is fruit tree updates on my apple trees. So, I have 7 apple trees that I grew from seed. There's 6 that I still have here. There's 1 on my desk at work because it was looking like it was basically toast, and I thought it was basically dead when it lost most of its leaves and only had, like, a tiny little bit of growth at the top, and so I took it to work to see if it would be saved. And it's doing great. Like, it's really bounced back. It is a very happy, healthy, tiny little apple tree. And my ones here have been dealing with spider mites for quite a while. And I've tried, like, so many insecticides on those mites, and they just keep on coming back, and it's so annoying. And so my apple trees have remained stagnant for a while because the mites feed on their leaves and are essentially, like, slowly killing the plant. So, like, a while back, I gave them all, like, really thorough baths, really washing off both the top side of every leaf and the underside of every leaf and the whole stalk. Like, really bathing all those trees. And then I left them outside, where if there are any spider mites that survive, then outside they'd at least have natural predators that could eat them. So, I had them in this sunroom here for a long time, where they're still pretty sheltered, but they're basically outside, and, like, they experience outside temperatures. Well, slightly warmer than outside temperatures, but mostly outside temperatures. But it wasn't outside. So being thoroughly bathed to get off most of the spider mites, and then being put outside to make sure that if there are any other mites, they'd hopefully be eaten by natural predators like ladybugs. And I haven't actually seen any spider mites on them for a while. But they, again, had lost a lot of their growth, and I was worried about them, and like, oh, are they gonna bounce back? Like, they've kind of remained stagnant, not really done much for a while. Every single one of them is developing new growth as of recently, and it's gotten me really excited. All my apple trees are growing again, finally. Can I kill with this? I sure can. Oh, they're cultist guards. So that's really exciting. And my 2 apricot trees that I sprouted semi-recently. One's like this big, the other about this big right now. So, I mean, they're growing fast. I mean, that's what happened with my apple trees as well, like, when they initially sprouted. Like, they sprouted with an immediate crazy growth spurt. Like, they've slowed down now. Well, they slowed down, especially when they were dealing with spider mites.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. My back.
I'm surprised that didn't kill him. What the heck? And how we still not get the other new sound effect? I'll just say what it is. I put in Fuzzroda. And I'm honestly surprised I didn't think of doing that earlier.
Nice shot.
Okay, so yeah, those fruit trees are doing really good. a cherry tree that I have in a pot. The one sucker that I dug up from my Oma's yard last year that actually lived is actually starting to make branches now, not just a singular stalk.
Nice shot.
So that is doing amazing. Hey, look, the level up before ending the stream. But you're still level 54. Here, watch this. I want to kick you. One last chance for the last new sound effect. Play. Come on. Come over here. So yeah, all the fruit trees are doing amazingly, which is really, really awesome. My lime trees are growing super well as well, which is really awesome. They're like, hey, it's finally summer. It's our season. It's finally warm and awesome. So my lime trees are super happy, healthy. It was just too tempting. I just wanted to do it. Too bad we didn't get the final new sound effect. Oh well. Next stream we'll probably hear it. Most likely. Anyway, I was just doing this camp because I want something to be going on while I was rambling about this stuff here. I guess I have to free you here too. And let's see here. Loot. Here we go. Freak reflex bow. I took some... Whoops! That was literally just me putting the controller on my lap and like one of the triggers being hit as I placed it on my lap. I almost killed that guy. That would have been quite embarrassing there. But let's see here. If I just post in the thingamabob where I send pictures to myself here. Let's see. Really quickly. I was taking pictures of all of them semi-recently, like when I got back from this trip early here. Did you just run back into the camp? Are you kidding me? And you're running back and forth like an absolute weirdo right now. Yeah, so here's the trees. Let's see here. If I send that, because I do want to share this. Because I'm really excited that my apple trees are coming back, and I'm really looking forward to the day that I plant an apple tree in the ground that I grew from seed. I mean, I'll have 7 options. Will be the case among 2 different types. So, yeah, like this one here, which was the one that... I'm sure I've had them, like, here on stream before, even, like, during Assassin's Creed stuff, most likely. In, like, the tiny little 3D printed pots I had them in at the beginning of the year. So, like, they're in actual big pots now. When they were struggling with spider mites, I put them in these much bigger pots, so that they... What is this guy doing? So they could try and root there. This guy lost most of its mass, like, most of its leaf mass along the stalk, as you can see here. And these leaves look kind of tired and sad and not all that great anymore. But hey, new growth! It's finally coming back! This one here, that was just like a little bush of leaves around here. It lost a whole bunch of the leaves here. These ones, it looks like it's still kind of getting ready to lose. And hey, finally new growth. That's doing super great. This one here is my super tall one that lost most of its leaves along the stalk here. But hey, it's getting some new leaves at the top here among some of these other sad looking ones, which is really cool. This one here is growing like a significant bit of stalk. So up to this point, it was like down to here where these leaves are darker, like the old leaves. And now it's like made new stalk up to here, which is really cool. So this one's getting taller again. And this one, we're getting some new growth in here. And look at all these sad leaves after everything that went on with the spider mite. So I was really worried about my apple trees not making it for a while. But nope. New leaves forming there. And then there's my red tree. My tree that is the only one of any of my 7 apple trees that, for some reason, whenever it makes new leaves, they start red and slowly turn green, and I call it my red tree. And this thing hasn't developed new leaves for months because of, like, all these bug issues and all that, and it lost a lot of its leaves along here. So it's been a long time since I've seen red leaves on this tree. But now it's getting new growth, and we've got red leaves again, which is really, really exciting. I don't know why it does that. Like, I mean, I have a slight idea. This was yesterday. There was a picture that I took of it today, like, later in the day at night, and it wasn't super clear. But I was just kind of hyped that it's forming red. It was the case. These photos are kind of crap, these night ones, so I'm probably going to delete them. It's been really windy here lately, so I took them back into the sunroom for now. But once the wind clears up, I'll put them back outside again. But yeah, the tree that these ones came from was a red wonder apple. This one, the That's Prairie Sensation Furry Magic. Try to grow Camellia tree, but the leaves kept getting burnt. Guess it doesn't like a coastal climate. Even put it in shade. Yeah, it might not be the right climate there. For sure. It was this one, my tall one. So this one, and this one that came from a Red Wonder apple, which is like the kind of apple that's red on the inside, which is really cool. And then these other 3 plus my one on my desk at work are my Prairie Sensation Prairie Magic hybrid apples. And I remember like doing some research into Red Wonder and talking with some nurseries at these seed exchange events. And I asked this one person at this nursery, like, hey, I'm growing seeds that came from a Red Wonder apple. Is it normal for Red Wonder leaves to start red and then turn green as they develop? And they told me yes at the time. I've since found out that that wasn't true, considering, I could probably find it in the plants channel here, considering one of my grafts that I put onto my Oma's crabapple tree there is Red Wonder. This is Red Wonder, so this is genetically what one of the parents of, like, that batch of apple trees would be. And these leaves do not start red. Also, the leaves are pretty decently different. Like, these ones are fuzzy, interestingly enough. They actually have a really pleasant touch, Red Wonder leaves. But these are not fuzzy. I mean, it's possible that, like, maybe the stick I got was mislabeled and that isn't actually a Red Wonder that I grafted onto there, or something like that. Or maybe I got an apple that wasn't actually a Red Wonder and I misidentified it. Is possible. But, like, so either this is a trait that it got from whatever its other parent is, that the other 2 siblings did not inherit, considering they just grow green initially. Where's the tall one? The tall one is that one. That one there. Considering its other 2 siblings do not produce red leaves that turn green, this is the only one. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what any of these apples are going to taste like yet. I won't know for many years. But definitely my favorite tree right now is my red tree because of that uniqueness. And I remember reading up, like, kind of origins of Red Wonder apples or red fleshed apples in general. And I remember reading up that apparently it was some sort of genetic mutation long time ago that would have caused this one gene that can cause redness to be reflected like 5 times stronger in like this certain strain of apple than normal. And then people were like, whoa, this is awesome. How it's like red on the inside and stuff. Let's breed this into like some cool new types. And Red Wonder came to be. Something like that. I remember reading up something about that. And apparently there was experiments that were done to determine if that gene was the thing that was causing it, by injecting things like leaves with that gene and seeing if they turned red. And, like, they did indeed turn red. So, like, the Red Wonder ones should have a whole bunch of whatever that gene is that their DNA tells them, hey, put a whole bunch of that into the flesh of the apples that you make to turn the insides red. And whatever gene that is, I guess, is reflected really strongly in the leaves, like, especially when they're first forming. But then as the leaves, like, mature and get more and more chlorophyll in them, the green does eventually overpower the leaves. Like, overpower the red in the leaves, and they slowly become that shade. But, like, man, once this grows into, like, a full tree, this would be a very, very beautiful tree. Like, every spring, as the new leaves come out and they're all red, and they slowly turn green, and every fall, with, like, the chlorophyll leaving the leaves and them getting ready to fall off, and them just being, like, this super striking crimson. I think that'd be awesome. Maybe I should give it a name, something with crimson in its name, when I eventually name these apples. That'd be kind of cool. But, yeah. And apparently, like, even if that's super reflected in the leaves, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll be reflected in the flesh of the apple. Like, maybe the flesh that it gets will be inherited from its other parent. So I don't know for sure whether this will make red flesh apples, but I really hope it does. And it's really exciting to finally see new growth on it and red leaves for the first time in forever. And these are my apricots right now, my 2 apricot trees I just sprouted, like, a couple weeks ago, and they're already, like, nearly matching the height, even passing the height of some of my apple trees. This one is definitely taller than that one in the back there. So my apricots are going kind of crazy. And, like, apricot seeds took me a while to find ones that would be able to grow here, since I can't exactly go to the supermarket and take an apricot pit and grow it. It wouldn't survive this climate. It'd be way too cold. Kind of like a camellia tree there. camellia, it looks like camellia tree, which I'm not actually familiar with. Where it's a thing where it's like, yeah, that isn't the natural environment, so it wouldn't live here. I mean, my lime trees aren't exactly in their natural environment here, but I just take them inside for the winter. So, that's a-okay, I'll just never plant them. But these guys can all go on the ground. So, I'm just really excited about my fruit trees, and I just wanted to share that while I was streaming here. This is what I wanted to do. Also, some other things that I can share about that really quickly. Let's see here. Other plant-related things. Let's put those ones in here. Sure. Let's just really quickly mention these because it's cool. Earlier today, I was checking my tomato plants, my tomato-potato combination thingamabobs, and there was a bee that, like, got tired and was taking it easy on one of my tomato leaves, which is actually really cool, and I'd never actually gotten the chance to see that before, so I got a few pictures of this little guy, and it was pretty cute. This is my Oma's tomato plant that is now so tall that I can no longer reach the tallest tomatoes that it is making without using, like, a ladder or something. This thing has gotten out of control. I put in some stakes around it. Like, some of these were starting to fall over all over the place. I'm surprised this has stayed as rigid as it has, and, like, it is absolutely insane. This is the one cherry tree that I have in a pot that survived being transplanted out from my Oma's garden as a sucker. Because it turns out the suckers don't actually have that much roots of their own. They just, like, share in, like, the whole root network of cherry trees. And for whatever reason, it abandoned its main stalk here and let that die off. And here's one of my other cherry trees that died off. It was not interested in keeping this main stalk alive. It was like, yeah, that's a little bit too much energy to be keeping it alive when I have very little roots of my own. Let's just start anew from the base. And it came back this spring, and it is actually making, like, proper branches and stuff now. If I do this. So it was just growing this stalk upward, but now it's actually getting, like, these clumps where it's like, yeah, these are all gonna spawn into, like, a bazillion leaves. And it is very happy, healthy, and I should probably find, like, a good place to plant this cherry tree. I mean, not the source cherry tree. The source cherry tree is dead, but the new biggest cherry tree there actually has a lot of cherries on it now. Last year, it only produced one cherry, and this year, it's actually produced quite a lot, and I've been snacking on them when I go over to my Oma's place. They're sour cherries, so most people don't like them for fresh eating. They're better in, like, baking. But eating cherries off of that tree, they're actually a lot sweeter than I remember them being on the original tree that died, that this has taken the place of. Like, it's actually got a lot of cherries on it this year. And if I grow this, it'll eventually be like that. And even bigger and get filled with even more cherries. Like, they were still sour, but they were sweeter than I remember them being on the old tree that used to be here that died and suckered into these trees. So, like, I actually don't mind eating these just fresh as is, so in future years, as it makes more and more cherries every year, I could see myself just filling a bowl with these and just, like, snacking on them. So, yeah, I think they're pretty good. And here's one of my cool new berries that I'm growing there. It's called Cimbalo, like Tzimbalo. They look almost like miniature watermelons. I don't know how to tell when they're ripe. I'm gonna need to figure that out. And I have no idea what they taste like. But I'm really looking forward to trying them out. And they look so funky. So, that's another cool thing going on. Anyway, so there's some cool plant stuff that I just wanted to share. Because I'm, like, really excited and really proud about, like, some of the stuff that's going on here. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that quickly. Anyway, there's some plant update stuff. Let's get out of here and save. I just want to share that because it's cool. But, like, man, do my plants end up taking a whole lot of time looking after everything nowadays. Let me tell you. It is kind of insane. Oh, one last cool thing that I can share. The grafts that I put onto the plum tree out at my family's lake cabin. The Seneca plum and the plum apricot hybrid that I grafted on, they're growing, but pretty slowly. But the Pempana plum that I grafted on there, it is going insane. It is growing into significant branches of this tree already. You can see there's the bandage that attached it onto this tree. And these are significant branches of leaves that are so completely different compared to the tree that they're put onto, which is so cool. So, I mean, if this produces plums next year, that'd be amazing, but it is growing so dang fast. It's the fastest growing thing on this whole tree. So, that is really cool. And one other thing that I'm just now remembering is when I was in that small town near our lake cabin, I got a good idea of what this tree is. Since the nursery that we originally bought the tree that was here from was a nursery in that small town, so we stopped in there and I inquired about that. So almost any fruit tree that you find at a nursery is going to be grafted in that the roots are different from what's above ground. And I checked the trees at that nursery and saw that, yep, like that standard, they are grafted onto different rootstock. And because the original tree that was here died, but whatever the root system was suckered and formed into this tree, the thing that's growing here is not the type of plum tree that was originally here. It's whatever the roots were. So I inquired there and I said, like, hey, what are your plum trees typically grafted onto? And they didn't know, and they actually called their seller for me. And apparently the main person that would for sure know that wasn't in. But someone gave them an answer that is probably the case, where it's like they try to graft their plums onto American plums typically, which is just like the wild variety of plum from the Americas, I guess, from me reading like some brief headlines but not looking into it all that far. And I googled, does the American plum sucker? And according to the first result, at least, it was like, yep, American plum suckers. I went to Google Images and looked for American plum. And it gave me a few different results when I was looking at the leaves. There were some that looked a decent bit different. But some of the results that came up when I was looking for American plum did look like these leaves. So I think it's probably like a very fair estimate that this plum tree that I have is an American plum. So it's good to like narrow that down and get information. I don't know that like for 100% sure, but I have a decent degree of certainty now that this is an American plum. And here's a Pempina plum on it. Here's the Seneca plum, and then somewhere here off camera is the plum apricot hybrid. Maybe next year I'll try putting on peaches and apricots. I mean, there's the apricot plum hybrid that's already on there, but like pure apricots, I might try putting on there. Since the hybrid worked out, so try the pure thing. And try peaches too, because that sounds fun. So, yeah. Anyway, there's all my really cool plant updates that I wanted to share because it's awesome. At least to me. I might be the only person that thinks so. But I think that, like, growing all these really cool, unique plants, seeing all my fruit trees I'm growing from seed, which are therefore new varieties, and combining multiple plants onto one, I think is pretty cool, at least. And so I want to share it. Why does my save file here say I have 68 hours? Well, basically 69 hours. But Steam says I have 102.3 hours. Like, what? I know I've reloaded saves at some point, but not like 30 hours worth. Weird. I don't know. I don't know what the truth is here. So, yeah, I just wanted to give those updates because it's cool. So, yeah. Next time will either end up being some more blue quests here, or it could be Legacy of the First Blade at Fragapalooza. Whatever it ends up being next time. Before Fragapalooza, I do want to get the new screens done here, so you probably won't be seeing this screen for all that much longer, most likely. And yeah, greatly appreciate everybody that tuned into another stream of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as I'm not even doing main objective stuff anymore. I'm just dicking around here doing all these blue DLC quests. And yeah, until next time when we're either doing Season Pass DLC or more blue quests. Until then, take care and see ya. And maybe I'll have some more plant updates. And I forgot to mention one more thing about my apple trees. 2 of them are starting to make new branches around the base. They're actually opening up some buds on the stalk and growing into new branches. And I forgot to mention that. I'm just now remembering. And that's got me super excited. So yeah, now I'm done. See you later, nerds. Until next time.